everyone, and welcome to Just a Conversation. There's an expression that is used quite often. Unfortunately, it is not followed by many. If you can't say anything nice, then don't say anything at all. This is a significant message by our guest today. She's only 18 years old, but well beyond her years. She's an activist, a voice for many, and above all, a stunningly gorgeous and successful model. Without hesitation, one of our favorite guests on Just a Conversation. Today's show is very pivotal for numerous reasons. Those of you out there who believe that because you're different, you don't deserve to be loved, it is actually the quite opposite. If you are different, you deserve to be loved more than anyone else in the world because you are unique and special in every way possible. Let's welcome the beautiful Jasroop Singh to Just a Conversation.
Hi, Jazz. Welcome to Just a Conversation with Anjali and Somi. And let me begin by saying I am in complete awe of you. Not because you're beautiful, but for being a voice for so many that need to be heard. Take us back to your journey, Jazz. When you found that moment, when you thought, no more.
So it was at the beginning of this year when we first had our lockdown. So our very first lockdown started in March. Before that, I still was working on my confidence. And then it got to the first lockdown, and then the restrictions started to end. So we were allowed to see our families, we was allowed to go out. And it was just this one day where I was going out with my family and was going to go to the park for like a picnic. I decided I used to never want to wear like half sleeve clothes. I used to always want to cover my my arms up. I always used to wear like leggings, never used to want to show off my legs because obviously my vitiligo. I used to be really conscious of it. Oh, people might stare at me. And it was just this one day when I was going out with my family, I literally just thought, you know what, I'm just going to go out in a t-shirt. It was like a sleeveless t-shirt, shorts, trainers, and I literally just felt so good about myself. I went out, people looked at me, but it was like I didn't care at all. I had no care in the world. I was out there being me. And that was literally the day when I thought, like, why have I been waiting so long? Like, it's like my confidence all literally just came out in this one day. And when I was out, I just literally just felt so good about myself, felt so confident. And then obviously I literally felt so good that I was like to my brother, oh, can you take some pictures of me? He took some pictures of me. I got home and I was amazed because I looked so good in those pictures. And then I got home, I literally posted one of the pictures on my Instagram, and that was the first time I'd ever like opened up or posted a picture of my skin on my social media. And ever since I'd literally posted that picture, it's like the amount of messages, the amount of people that were commenting on my picture, telling me like, wow, your skin is so beautiful. The messages I was getting like, oh my God, like your skin is amazing. And it was amazing to see that because like, I've always been so conscious about my skin, and to see so many people supporting me from literally posting one picture, it was just amazing.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. I want to second the fact what Anjali said, that it's an absolute honor and a privilege for us to just to have you on here, and we're so happy that you agreed and gave us your time. Now, Jazz, for our viewers and for a young girl or a man or a child that is going through vitiligo and they don't know what it is, can you explain to our viewers and people so they don't seek out unnecessary medication? And you had to go through the homeopathic route for a long time. Can you elaborate on that, please, so people understand what exactly it is?
Yeah, so vitiligo, it's when you start to you get white patches start to appear on your skin, and now those white patches, they can appear anywhere on your skin, so it's not just a certain part of your body, but anyone can get it. So you can be a black person, you can be Asian, you can be white, any ethnicity, any race, anyone can get vitiligo. It can happen to you at any age, so you can either have it when you're really young, or it can happen to you when you're in your late 40s, so it can happen to you whenever. So when we first noticed my first patch, I was 4 years old, and we first noticed it on the corner of my eye. Now, we didn't really quite know how to react because we didn't know what it actually was. So I was taking herbal medication for 8 years. So from the age of 4 up until I was nearly 12, 13 years old, I was taking medication. What I'd advise is do not take medication at all, because it reacts to people with vitiligo differently, and there's actually not a cure for vitiligo. Like, people can say there is, but I've tried lots of different medication and nothing's worked at all. So what I'd say is just do not try any medication, even if people try to force you into it, try to give you all of these things like, oh my God, it will help you. Just let it flow naturally, which is the one thing I wish that I could have done, because the medication, it was helping it, but a couple of months down the line, I would start to receive more and more patches, so it wasn't actually helping it, although we thought it was at one point, but it actually wasn't. So yeah, just let it flow naturally, and just do not try or take any medication for it.
Yeah, because it was probably giving you psychological comfort because you didn't know
Yeah.
what was going on. And that's why I wanted you to elaborate and make people understand that medication, there's nothing to do with medication at all.
No. So the medication, it wasn't only affecting me mentally, but it was affecting me in all different ways. So I'd always feel so low, feel so crap, because I thought, oh, I'm going to have to take this horrible medication. At the time, we didn't know that it wasn't going to do anything. So we was taking it for years and years. But obviously, in the end, I decided, like, my mental health was all over the place. That's when I decided that enough is enough. I need to stop taking this medication. It's not helping me in any shape or form, but instead it's affecting how I am with other people. So it was so horrible, the medication. It was like I used to have to take all different. So some of them would be like tablets. It might have been like a sherbet sort of thing that I'd have to like put in my mouth and then swallow it with water or mix it in water. It was quite a lot of different medication I was taking. But what I'd say is just do not try. Obviously you can do what you want, but it like affected me really badly, and ever since I had stopped taking it years ago now, I've just been in such a better place. Obviously not with my confidence has only just started to build up at the start of this year, and I'm in such a better place now than I was even a year ago.
So we're so happy for you.
Yes,
so
thank you.
I'm really proud of you for speaking up, spreading the awareness that there's no use of taking such medicine. Did you have to take it several times a day, that medication?
So it'd be like 2 or 3 times a day. So it might be I might have to take it might have to take it in the morning and then at night, or I could take it in the afternoon and then at night. So it was all different.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you are not taking them anymore. You have
Yeah,
stopped
me
taking them
too.
and you're over that phase. So just, did you ever told your parents in terms of bullying and what you're going through in school? And how did you
Yes.
handle that emotionally and while being there?
So obviously I went through a very hard time in school. I used to be one of those people that didn't used to like to talk to people if I was going through stuff. So I'd just literally put on a brave face and just go about with my day. So I wouldn't talk to anyone. I'd always try and hide the way I feel. People would always go to me, oh, like, you seem really down. But I'd be like, no, I'm fine. I'd always brush it off. People would always like make animal noises, horrible comments when I'd like walk past them in school. It was just horrible. I'd always like speak to the teachers about it, but they never used to really do anything about it, because it carried on from like when I first started school up until when I finished school. So they literally weren't helpful at all about it. I spoke to my parents about it. Even they had to come down to the school like a couple of times and speak to them like something needs to be done about this, but teachers and stuff, they didn't used to do anything. obviously I used to tell my parents like literally everything, like if I was ever that people would make horrible noises and all of this sort of stuff, I'd always speak to them about it. But it used to get to points where I'd try and like hold it in as well. So if I ever felt like I was talking on a situation too much, I'd kind of just keep it to myself. And then it came to when I was starting college, I still started to go through the same stuff again. I thought it was getting better, still started to go through people saying horrible things to me, making animal noises, all of this sort of like nasty things. It's like it was just unnecessary. They didn't have to say things like that to me. And I'd always like tell my parents, and that's when I used to always say to my mum that I want to get cosmetic surgery, I want to just go one colour. All of these sort of things used to go through my head, and my mum used to go to me like, don't be silly, like she used to always comfort me and stuff. But it's like when people used to make all of those horrible comments and stuff, it's like they didn't have to make them. They were just like, it's like they didn't have to be so nasty. It's like looking back on it, those same people are now the same ones that try to support me or try to send me nice messages. And it's like I don't hold grudges, but why couldn't they have just been nice to me from the beginning?
I'm so sorry. We're so sorry. And we love you for your courage. And that was my next question, is that, you know, now that you've found your voice and you're stunning and you know you're gorgeous, and I want to know, did any of those people that were unkind to you, that my question was, did they ever reach out to you and not support, but did they ever pick up the phone or send you an email and say, you know what, I apologize. What I did was wrong. I didn't know any better. I was just a part of a gang that were bullies. Did anyone ever take that initiative and apologize to you?
So no, none of them actually did do
Wow.
that. But
Wow.
it's like, yeah, none of them ever had the guts to apologise, to say anything. But ever since I've started my modelling, I've opened up about my skin. They've seen what I'm doing. They've seen that I'm doing so good with what I'm trying to do and help raise awareness. It's like they're the same people that took the mick out of me in my past, and now the same ones. They're like literally the first people to message me or pop up to my Instagram stories or comment on my Instagram post, wow, you look stunning, or comment on my Snapchat post, like my selfies or my modelling pictures, like, wow, this is amazing. And it's like it's like I don't hold grudges, but it's kind of funny as well, because it's like it's true, they always come running back when they see you doing well. But that's the one thing, is like I don't hold grudges, but I'd never ever ever forgive people for, or like forget how they treated me in the past just because they're being nice to me now. Don't get me wrong, I'd always be a nice person back to them, because you've got to kill them with kindness.
Yes.
So it's like I'd always be a nice person to them, but it's like I'd never forget who put me in my hard or my lowest places.
Well, I agree with you. I'm the same way. If you hurt me and you really betray me, I would disassociate. I would not hold a grudge, but I would completely disassociate, and that's what Anjali feels the same way.
Yes.
Another thing I want to tell you, Jazz, is that anyone that makes you feel belittles you or makes you feel like a small person is someone that they himself or herself is miserable in their life. And the only reason someone would say cruel things to another person is because they themselves inside are insecure and they're not happy. So I'm so proud of you that you've come out of this. And you know what? Those people can go F themselves. I don't care about them. And that's my attitude, and that's my best friend and my little sister Anjali's attitude. If you degrade me, you belittle me, and you talk bad about me behind my back, you have no room in my life at all. You're toxic and I want you out. So I'm so proud of you.
100% agree with that. But it's just crazy, because it's like, it is true, they always come running back when they see you doing well. It's like, people don't have to be nasty, like they can't force themselves. But it's like, why can't you just be nice to people? Like, there's no harm in it. It doesn't cost anything to be nice to people. And
Absolutely.
it's like you're taking the time out of your day to say things about my life. It just goes to show the person that they actually are.
Yes, you believe in karma. Time
Yeah,
evolves, right? So I really like it when you said kill them with kindness, and I'm proud of your parenting at this age. You are so mature and so wise, beautiful inside and out, and I'm extremely, extremely proud of you. So
thank you
like
so
you
much.
said that you never hold grudges. What is your advice to someone who is getting bullied, or in person or online, to someone like you? What would you like to tell them?
So if it's in person, walk away from them. Don't even bother saying anything to them at all, because you responding to them just gives them more power to say more stuff to you, and it shows them that you're bothered. Just don't let it get to you like that. And the other thing is, if it does happen in person, or whenever it happens, make sure you always talk to someone, because even though you might feel like you don't want to talk to someone, or the best thing is to isolate yourself, that's the one thing that I thought was the best thing. But now that I'm so open with my skin, I wouldn't ever I couldn't ever imagine not speaking to people, or like my parents or my uncle. I would always talk to someone if I'm ever feeling low. I wouldn't ever hold it in. If you're ever getting bullied online, so you're getting people sending you horrible messages, same thing. Don't reply to them. Don't respond to them. Literally, just block them out. It's the best thing to do is literally just block them out, because as soon as you give them the little bit of attention, or you send a message back to them, it just shows them, oh, like, I've got them bothered. I
Yeah,
can
they
say
it
like
shows
they'll keep
they can
carrying on.
control your mind. No one should be able to
Yeah,
control your mind, right?
And
Block.
they enjoy
yeah.
it. They enjoy you. They enjoy it. They feed into it. They love, oh, we got a reaction out of her. And that's their
Yeah,
MO. That's what they love.
Yeah,
These trolls, these people that are unkind, that's what they enjoy.
yeah.
it's
Absolutely.
They
like,
have nothing productive in their life. They do it to
Exactly.
just seek attention, right?
yes. And it's
Absolutely.
always the ones that haven't got anything going on in their life. They're literally just focusing on hating on other people, negative, just gossiping. They're the ones that have the most to say about everyone else's lives. It's like, look at me, like, I'm doing so much for myself.
Yes, you're an
And
achiever.
then look at them. They're literally commenting on my life. They're taking the time out of their day to say things about my life. It just goes to show the type of person that they actually are, and they're just so bothered.
Yeah.
You are an achiever, Jazz. You are an achiever. You have been featured in all the top magazines, Vogue. What was that Indian magazine where all
Kush Mag.
Kush Mag? That's a big deal. I'm
Yeah,
so
it was
proud of
amazing.
you.
Thank you.
They're just jealous. They're just jealous fools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me this. So how I can guarantee your parents must be so proud of you.
Yes.
And what is your relationship with them now? And do you have any siblings?
Yep, I've got a younger brother. He's 16.
Okay. So how
So
are they're reacting to all of this? Their daughter
so proud. Literally like over the moon proud, because obviously it's not only new for me, but it's new for my whole family as well. So I'm like really close to my family, and they've literally all been so supportive. Like, I've had a supportive family probably since the day I was born, and that's another thing I'm really grateful for, because there's people out there that could be doing the same thing as me, but they've not got a supportive family. They've literally just got themselves, and I'm just so grateful that I've not only got me who supports myself, but I've got the most supportive parents, sibling, literally my whole family. And obviously in Indian families, they're massive. So it's like every time I have a new shoe, literally in like the space of an hour, like my whole family in India, in America, they all find out about it, and they're just so happy for me.
Oh, that's amazing. What part of India are your family from? Are your parents?
Punjab.
Yeah, I
Ah,
could tell.
Yeah.
wonderful. Wonderful. That's great. That's great that they're supportive.
Yeah,
Tina
it's
is
really
so happy
good.
for you. We're so proud of you.
You're
Thank
blessed,
you.
Jazz. You're absolutely blessed. So, Jazz, how have you been dealing with lockdown in your hometown with your family?
So So for me, it's been normal, because I'm still getting on. Although like we can't go out as much, like with friends and visit people, but it's been like fine for me. I've been focusing on myself, what I want to actually do with my future. My social media is like a big thing for me as well, because it's one of the main sources of platform that I spread awareness for. So I've been focusing a lot on that, trying to get my engagement up, trying to get as many people to notice my page and make sure that people, like, when I post pictures and like from my modeling, I try to, like, it's like a story I try to tell through my captions. So it's like my very first post is like when I opened up about my skin, and then like through my post, as you can see, I've got like quite long captions about like how I've gone from being an insecure girl into modelling for Kush Mag, like being the first female model that has vitiligo, modelling for them. So it's like I'm telling a story through my posts, which is, it's amazing as well, because I have so many people like on a daily message me just telling me how much I'm helping them already with opening up about their skin. So lockdown for me has been really, it's actually been really good, because I've literally just been focusing on myself, spending time with my family, and yeah.
You have bright future, Jazz. You will be everywhere very soon. I'm so happy and proud of you. You have been recently featured in Brown Girl Mag as well.
Yeah.
And that's how we found you, through social media. You are.
So what was that?
That's how we found you, through Instagram.
Oh, through Brown Girl Mag.
Yeah,
we follow that. We follow Brown Girl Mag, and I was featured in it years ago. So I sent Anjali, I was like, oh my God, I am in love with this girl. I want to adopt her as my daughter. And I absolutely love her. And so, yeah, that's how we found you. And speaking of your Instagram, every morning I make it a point that how I drink my coffee every morning, first thing I do is I go on your page, especially if I'm feeling a little down, and I read your posts, and it brings me right up.
Wow.
And that's my first thing I do every morning, because I want to see what has Jazz posted. So I'm already deeming you to be my you could be my daughter's age. So I'm already deeming you as my adopted daughter. That's done.
That's so nice to hear, because it's like, it's like, I literally have no words. It's just so nice to hear that my posts are actually warming people, like inspiring them. It's like when I started modelling, it wasn't just I want to do modelling for the sake of it. I want to do it because I want to leave a mark on people's lives. I want them to know that being different isn't a bad thing. So that's really nice to hear. Thank you.
Of course. You motivate me. You motivate Anjali.
You are such an inspiration. You'll find your posts in my stories every day. I love all your posts, and I like to inspire all my followers through your posts, because they are really inspirational.
So Jazz, tell us about for a lot of people. So my mom suffers from depression. And it's of course genetically, it also plays a role. And I have iota of that. My brother has it also through our mother. So a lot of people, when you went through these stages, can you share with the viewers, because there's such a stigma attached to mental illness, and we're not there yet. We're getting there, but we're not there yet. For example, Deepika Padukone, who's a huge film actress in India, she's the first one who took the initiative and talked about her being depressed. And depression has no prejudices. You could be a big movie star, you could be a nurse, you could be a homeless person. Depression happens to everyone, but there's such a stigma attached to it. And I'm glad that people are slowly being vocal about it. I've started talking about it a little bit as well. So tell us how you coped, and what are your views on mental illness?
So everyone, like, it can affect loads of people differently. So thankfully mine wasn't like self-harming. Like, I know people go through a lot of self-harming. I've never ever imagined of doing anything like that to myself, but sometimes I would think, like, what even is the point of me being here? But I wouldn't necessarily do anything. I can't really explain it. It's like, you feel like, do you want me to explain like how I felt when I was going through stuff? So when I was going through stuff, I just felt like I said, what even is the point? Like, there's no point me being here. Like, I didn't used to feel like anyone loved me. like I'd always go out, I'd always feel like the eyes are all on me, people are staring at me thinking, oh my God, look how ugly she is. I'd be really self-conscious when I go out, which is why whenever I'd go out, I'd always make sure that I was like covered in full clothing. So I had a top with full sleeves on, jeans, like so you can literally not see my skin, cake myself in makeup, all of that sort of stuff, because I felt like people will just keep looking at me and stuff. But it's like I've broken that barrier now, and my mental health, my mental health is so much better. It's like I go out and I can literally just be me. Like I don't care if people look at me. It's like I literally go out and I don't even notice if people stare at me because I'm not thinking about it anymore. So even if people are looking at me, it wouldn't affect me because it's like I just feel so much better about myself, so much more confident. So it doesn't affect me anymore. Like, don't get me wrong, I still have days where I feel like quite low, but I pick myself back up and I just think to myself, look at all of this like that I've achieved right now. Like I have to keep going. Like you can't just stop here, and that's what motivates me as well. And another thing is as well, it's like the amount of messages I get from people on a daily that motivates me to push harder and just reach higher. And every day I set like a new goal for myself. Like today I'm going to make sure I do this, or tomorrow I'm going to make sure I do this. So that's really helpful as well. It's one thing that's helped me a lot as well.
Did you seek therapy at all?
Yep, so I did actually go through a point where in 2018 I did have therapy. I had, I think, about 10-15 sessions, and that did really, really, really help me, because obviously back then I'd never used to really talk to anyone as such. I'd try and speak to people, but I'd just keep it to myself. And then my parents decided maybe we should look into a therapist, and so like I said, I had 10-15 sessions with them, and it did really, really, really help me a lot. But it got to a point where, like at the start of the year, I was like, I didn't need a therapist. So when I stopped having the therapy, I could cope myself. And like I said, it was literally from the start of lockdown, I was working on my confidence. It literally just all just came out of nowhere. It was like my confidence in one day, that one specific day, just literally just came out just in this one day.
Wow, amazing. I had therapy sessions and it helped me a lot because I'm a child
Yeah.
Sexual abuse survivor and rape survivor. And I always tell people that it's always important to talk to, you know, I have Anjali as my very, very strong support system. She's like my closest friend, my little sister, but it's always good to talk to a trained professional.
Yeah,
and
true.
you know, especially that deal in their background is in childhood sexual abuse or trauma therapy or, you know, rape or whatever. It really helps to speak to someone who's a professional. And it's also very important to have a good support system. And you know, Anjali is one of my biggest support systems. So it's important to have friends. It really is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, there is a stigma, especially in Indian family, like if you're seeking therapy, you have something wrong going on. That's absolutely wrong. There's no harm in seeking help and taking therapy sessions. And I'm glad it helped you and you're vocal about it. So it's good to seek help if you need it. And
Yeah,
now
that
look,
is true.
where you are. You have come a long way, definitely. So Jazz, how would you handle if a child stare at you, and given the fact that they don't know, if they say something to you, do you ever try to stop and talk to them and tell them what vitiligo is?
So like now, like I've got little cousins of myself, like little cousins, baby cousins of myself in our family as well. Like no one's ever said anything, asked me like literally anything. But now I'm more open about it. If it ever did get to a point where they did ask me, oh, like what is that on your face or something like that, I'd happily openly say that, speak to them like in a nice way. See, they wouldn't understand what vitiligo is, but I'd explain it to them in a way that they'd understand. It's like even now when I go out, I do get little kids stare at me, but I don't let it get to me. Like I see them staring at me, but I don't let it get to me. I literally just look away, get along with my day, carry on doing what I'm doing, so it doesn't affect me. But it was that there was one time at the start of the year where someone, like a little child, they didn't know, I think they had dyslexia. They were dyslexic.
Yes.
No, I can't remember what it's called, but they had something wrong with them.
Okay.
It's when I literally can't remember what it's called. So it's like when they're old enough, but they've got a child mentality.
Oh, like, are they autistic or Asperger's?
Autistic, yeah, that's it. So there was one child that was autistic, and they basically said, "Oh my God, mummy, she looks like a cow. Like, look at her skin." And I didn't let it affect me because I thought they're just a child, like they don't know. And I literally just carried on getting along, like doing what I was doing. So that's a massive improvement for me, considering if someone had said that to me a year ago, I would have probably broke down in tears as soon as I got home, or I would have felt so uncomfortable. But it's like they're children, like they don't know. So
They're innocent. They're innocent.
Yeah.
They don't know any better. And also, I think it's the parents' responsibility to take them home and explain to them that
Yeah.
what this is, and they need to explain, teach their children. But again, if it's a 4-year-old, they're so innocent, they don't know.
Yeah,
They don't know any better.
that's so
You can't
true.
hold that against them.
Trust me, Jazz, I had moments when my daughter would say things when she's innocent, she won't know. But I feel that it's my responsibility to come home and educate her, talk to her, and teach her about various aspects of life.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Jazz, have you ever considered, because you're such a vocal voice, such an activist for this cause, have you ever given a thought about starting a nonprofit organization to raise awareness, and also to those that are suffering through what you went through before you gained your confidence in your voice, and then they can kind of reach out to your nonprofit organization and seek help? Have you ever considered that, or are you still too young to get to that point?
So I'm going to be honest, I haven't actually thought of anything like that just yet, but it's come to my mind a couple of times. I've seen quite a lot of vitiligo pages, and I just think that, wow, that's amazing, like how like they're making vitiligo t-shirts or vitiligo like masks, a lot of different things like that. So it's never actually come to my head, but it's an idea for us. It is something that I will definitely look into doing in the future, because I feel like it will raise not only like is my page raising a lot of awareness right now, but it will help a lot of people that were once in a situation that I was. So like there's so many people, like how I was a year ago, there are people that are in the same situation as I am. I don't know if that sounds confusing, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
So it's like
It makes sense.
I will try and like look into something like that in the future, but I just want to focus on my social media page at the moment, keep spreading awareness through that, but it is something I'll look into in the future.
Well, you have your whole life ahead of you, so you have a lot of time. And I just think because I run a nonprofit, as you know, and I thought that if it could be where you can implement psychologists, psychiatrists, you know, meditation, all sorts of aspects. But when you come to that decision, call me, and I would love to give you some guidance.
Yeah, that's great. I will do.
Yep, and you're doing great for your age. Trust me, you are doing amazing.
Yeah.
So,
Thank
Jazz,
you.
has anyone approached you for making a documentary or movie on your courage? And of course, how beautiful you are.
So I've had like a lot of people, like I've had Brown Girl magazine with like the lives. I've had quite a few other people that I've wanted to share. So one of my other videos that I did not long ago, as you guys must have seen, as you shared it as well.
Yes.
So it was a page called Designer by Ayush.
Mm-hmm.
Designer by Ayush, and I had a shoot with them as well. So obviously he wanted me to do like a video about my skin. I spoke all about it. I've not actually had people want to do like a movie or documentary or anything like that just yet, but I've had quite a lot of people approach me on doing like an Instagram live, like how you guys approached me and asked to do like a live and interview. So I've had quite a lot of people ask me to do that.
And I would love to have you model for my brand when I come to US, UK, or you come to US. I would
Yeah.
love to work with you, style you, and do a photo shoot with you.
Yeah, that would be
Or
amazing.
Anjali can also send you a package to the UK with her stuff. It's gorgeous. And I want to send you our No More Tears t-shirts also for you to
Oh,
wear.
thank you.
They're all on human rights issues. So Jazz, you covered my last question in one of the initial questions. So I'm going to ask you another question before we close the show. If there's one thing in the world that you would like to change, what would it be?
So does it have to be like, does it have to be like to do with anything about like, my skin or anything like that, or anything?
Anything.
Absolutely no, anything.
So I'd say hunger, to stop hunger, like to stop there's so many people around the world that suffer, and it's like I feel like everyone takes the smallest little things for granted, like waking up in the mornings or having a shelter or having a glass of water or having anything like that. So that is one thing that I'd like to change, is hunger and poverty.
That's a
we are so proud of you, Jazz, for your thought process, for your age. You are so wise and intelligent. Really proud of you.
You're very
Thank you.
precocious for an 18-year-old, I must say. You're well beyond your years. You're an old soul. You're so intelligent. Thank you so much. We're again, like I said, the first thing I do is I have my coffee and I go on your Instagram to get motivated for the day.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me on here. It means so much. Thank you.
Jazz. Thank you so much for joining us on Just a Conversation and inspiring all our viewers and audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was wonderful talking to you.
We'll speak soon. Take care.
Speak soon. Bye.